Hello there, Celtic faithful. Welcome back to Celtic Central News, the heartbeat of everything green and white. You lot have been absolutely brilliant with the support lately, and honestly, it means the world if you're as mad about Celtic as we are. Make sure you stick around, hit that like, and let's keep growing this incredible community of hoops supporters from every corner of the globe. Now, let's dive right into the latest drama, rumors, and behind-the-scenes shakeups surrounding our beloved BHOYS. You remember that lad David Strelic, a name that popped up back in January. One that got all of us dreaming a wee bit, a striker with pace, presence, and a proper nose for goal. Celtic had their eyes on him and even went as far as launching a serious bid. We're talking nearly £8 million late in the window. That offer was slapped down quicker than you can say paradise on a Champions League night. Slovan Bratislava, the Slovakian outfit Strelic currently calls home, weren't having any of it. They dug their heels in, and the deal never materialized. Strelic, by the looks of it, wasn't exactly chuffed about it either. There were whispers he felt a bit frustrated, and who could blame him? A potential move to a historic club like Celtic, who play under the lights at Parkhead and battle in Europe, is nothing to scoff at. But despite the rejection, Strelic's been keeping his head down. He later admitted that he's content at Slovan, still dreaming of the Premier League, but not making any fuss. That's the mark of a professional. Right. Playing the game, keeping your ambitions in check, and waiting for the right opportunity. Now, here's where things get interesting. Just when it seemed like the door might still be open, Slovan Bratislava's general director, Ivan Kamatric, has spoken out, and from what he's saying, it sounds like they're not just keeping Strelic. They're planning their future around him. Kamatric Jr. gave a wee chat to the Slovak outlet Sport.sk after announcing their latest signing, Nikola Kakarovic. Some of you might remember him, the big lad who had a stint with Hibs, and more recently was on the books at Swansea. Kakarovic has just penned a 4-year deal with Slovan, moving on a permanent basis, and Kamatric Jr. was full of praise. Said he'd been watching the striker closely during his time in Scotland, calling him a strong, technical forward with international experience. He highlighted how Nikola's got a different style compared to Strelic, more physical, but still sharp on the ball, and crucially, he sees him as direct competition for our boy David. Not a replacement, not a step aside, but proper competition. This, if we're being honest, sends a pretty loud message. Slovan aren't looking to cash in on Strelic anytime soon. They're building a strike force. They want depth, they want options. And more importantly, they're not too bothered about the interest coming from Glasgow. According to Strelic's agent, all the chatter around Celtic has been just that, talk. Nothing serious on the table right now, no new offers, and no movement. And let's be real, that kind of stance doesn't exactly slam the door shut forever. Football's a funny old game. Things can change quickly, especially when a player starts hitting form or when a club's hand is forced financially. But as it stands, if Celtic were hoping to revive their interest in the Slovakian striker, it looks like they're going to have to be patient, or be ready to put up even more money than before. Meanwhile, it's also worth remembering how Celtic's own European journey was unfolding during all this. Back in that Champions League group stage, Strelic was actually on the pitch against US, but it was NICOLAS KÜHN who ended up stealing the show, banging in a crucial goal on the 56th minute that helped the Hoops secure a 3-1 win and punch our ticket to the next round. That kind of European magic is what sets Celtic apart. We don't just scout talent, we go up against them on the big stage. That win was part of the run that saw Celtic go all the way and lift the trophy in December. A proper feather in the cap for the squad, and a moment fans won't forget anytime soon. So while the Strelic story might be simmering rather than boiling, it's still one to keep an eye on. The player's got quality, there's no doubt about it. The club clearly values him. But in football, value often equals opportunity, and if the stars align, who knows, we might yet see David Strelic in the green and white hoops one day. Until then, we'll keep watching, keep hoping, and keep dreaming. Now, while we're on the topic of strikers and potential transfers, let's not forget the bigger picture at Celtic right now. The club's clearly in a period of transition, not just looking for short-term solutions, but trying to build something more sustainable, more dynamic, and the David Strelic saga, in a way, shines a wee light on that strategy. It's not just about buying names, it's about building partnerships, building depth, and making sure we've got the right type of players for every occasion. Because let's face it, Scottish football might be fast and furious, but when you're Celtic, You've also got European nights to think about. You need players who can handle the physical battles at Tynecastle or Pittodrie, but also those who won't freeze under the lights in Milan or Madrid. That's the level we're aiming for, and it's why the recruitment team's job is more complicated than ever. You bring in someone like Celtic, you're not just buying a goal scorer. You're bringing in a player who's already had a taste of European competition. Someone who's been scouted playing against top sides. Someone who's still young but carries a hunger to step up. But when the selling club's not ready to let go, or they're pricing him as if he's already Premier League material, it becomes a test of patience and negotiation. Celtic won't be bullied at the negotiation table, and rightly so. We've been stung in the past by paying over the odds, and now we're moving smarter. But what about NICOLAS Kakarovic? The fact that Slovan moved quickly to secure him shows they're thinking long-term too. Signing a 4-year contract isn't something you do on a whim. They clearly see him as more than just a squad player. He's competition, yes, but maybe also a safety net, because what if Strelic gets his dream move after all? Premier League clubs are always lurking, and you know how quickly things shift when the English money starts talking. So this might just be Slovan's way of future-proofing their squad and making sure that if the inevitable happens, they're not caught short. But from our perspective, it muddies the waters. On one hand, it suggests they're doubling down on Strelic and building around him. On the other, it hints they're preparing for life without him. It's the classic football bluff, and the game of posturing continues. Back at Lennoxtown, the focus is still firmly on getting preseason right. Brendan Rodgers and his staff know that the margin for error in the upcoming campaign is razor thin. Rangers are strengthening, the rest of the league is catching up, and Europe demands consistency and depth. That's where someone like Strelic could have slotted in nicely, a young, versatile striker who could be molded into the Celtic way. But if the door's closed for now, the recruitment team needs to have a plan B, C, and D ready to go. Because the one thing we can't afford this summer is to stand still. The league title, the Champions League group stages, the Scottish Cup, they don't wait for anyone. And while the squad has its share of talent, we all know reinforcements are needed, not just for the first team, but across the bench, the development squad, the players pushing from behind. And don't forget the impact of competition within the team. Just like Slovens hoping Kakarovic will push Strelic to new heights, Celtic needs that same level of hunger and pressure across all positions. That's what drives performance. That's what turns good players into great ones. That's what wins titles. We've seen it before. Look at how the arrival of Jota changed the dynamics in attack. How Carter Vickers brought leadership at the back. One good signing can transform the mentality of an entire unit. Now the fans, you lot, you've got every right to be eager, anxious, even frustrated at times. Transfer windows are emotional roller coasters. One day you're linked with a wonder kid from South America. The next it's a 33-year-old from League One. The truth lies somewhere in between. And until the contracts are signed, it's all just smoke and noise. But what's clear is that Celtic isn't just playing catch-up. We're playing the long game, and while that might mean missing out on some flashy names, it also means we're not throwing money around just to make headlines. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. There's a stirring in the air around Celtic Park, and it's not just the Glasgow breeze. Whispers have grown louder in recent days suggesting that German winger NICOLAS KÜHN could be on his way out of paradise with English Premier League side Brentford reportedly preparing to open their checkbook for the boys' wide man. KÜHN, who only joined the hoops in the recent past, has impressed in flashes with his technical ability and pace down the flanks, though he hasn't quite cemented himself as an automatic starter. His potential has been evident, and it seems that hasn't gone unnoticed south of the border. Sources close to the player have hinted at growing interest from the Bees, with talk of a millionaire deal on the table, sparking murmurs across both Glasgow and West London. While there's been no official statement from either club, it's understood that negotiations may be at an advanced stage. The proposed move has raised eyebrows, particularly among the Parkhead faithful, who are divided on the timing of the potential departure. Some see it as a savvy piece of business, should the reported fee reflect a tidy profit for Celtic. Others, however, fear letting go of a player who was just beginning to find his feet under the bright lights of Celtic Park. If the deal goes through, KÜHN would be swapping the Scottish Premiership for the world's most competitive league, a challenge few players would turn down. Brentford known for their analytical recruitment and eye for emerging talent, may view KÜHN as a project worth developing further. For now, it remains a rumor, but the signs are hard to ignore. With the transfer window rumbling in the distance and agents getting busy, don't be surprised if this one gathers momentum quickly. One thing's certain, the coming days could be decisive in shaping KÜHN's next chapter, and possibly Celtic's plans for the season ahead. Hello, fan, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.